All right, let's jump right into it. Today, in this explainer, we're tackling a massive shift that is fundamentally reshaping our world, and honestly, it might literally be keeping you up at night. Look, there is widespread and entirely understandable anxiety right now about exactly how artificial intelligence is going to impact our personal finances and our everyday livelihoods. You've seen the wild headlines, you've heard the rumors at the water cooler, and you're probably wondering what it all means for your paycheck. Well, today, we're going to break the whole shebang down using the exact data from our source material. We're going to look at exactly why AI is destroying certain jobs, but also, and this is absolutely crucial, how it is making some people incredibly rich.
3.5 million. Let that number sink in for a second. Over the next 5 years, artificial intelligence could eliminate 3.5 million jobs in the United States alone. That is a hard, staggering statistic to swallow. We're not talking about some distant sci-fi movie scenario here. This is a very real, very imminent shift happening in the labor market right now, today. Now, you'll often hear the tech optimists out there counter that scary job loss number. They'll say, hold on, AI is also this massive engine for job creation. And, well, they're right. AI is actually projected to create 2.4 million new jobs. But here is the harsh reality that gets glossed over. That second number doesn't really help most everyday people. It's great macroeconomic comfort, sure, but it can be a personal disaster. Why? Because the specific skills required for those 2.4 million brand new jobs are completely, fundamentally different from the skills used in the 3.5 million jobs that are actively being eliminated.
Which brings us to a pretty harsh reality check. Right now, you might be perfectly safe in your current role, or you might be scrambling to retrain. I want us to make this giant macroeconomic threat intensely personal for just a moment. You see, this transition, it doesn't care about your past experience. It doesn't care about your fancy current job title. It literally only cares about two things: efficiency and adaptability.
So let's dive into Section 1, the job destruction reality.
The roles that are vanishing the fastest right now, we're talking about customer service, data entry, content writing, junior coding, and accounting. Now, you might be wondering why these specific jobs, and why is it happening right this second? Well, it all comes down to this incredible speed of adoption. We are seeing massive cost differences that make human labor in these specific tasks almost impossible for large corporations to justify anymore. There is just this fierce, cutthroat corporate race to implement AI and satisfy shareholders. Companies are realizing they can slash their costs drastically and almost instantly.
And that leads us to a genuinely terrifying time gap. On one side of the equation, you have the immediate reality of a job loss, right? AI implementation happens fast. Boom, the job is gone. But on the other side, the data shows that the average worker takes 18 to 24 months to successfully retrain for a new in-demand career. That gap right there, between losing your income instantly and needing up to 2 entire years to learn a new viable skill, that is exactly where the real economic pain lives.
Furthermore, the clock is ticking loudly. 22 weeks. That is the median job search time post-loss in our current market. If you were displaced by AI tomorrow, you are looking at nearly half a year just trying to find a replacement role, let alone retraining for a completely new industry. It creates this tremendous sense of urgency, doesn't it? You simply cannot wait until your job is gone to figure out your next move. But hey, as dark and gloomy as that sounds, here is the tension-breaking twist.
Let's pivot to Section 2. Who is getting rich?
We are actually seeing 3 distinct layers of massive wealth capture happening right before our eyes. Number 1, AI owners and shareholders. We're talking about the crazy stock multipliers of companies like NVIDIA, OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft. The folks holding these assets are seeing unprecedented returns. Number 2, early adopter businesses. These are the agile companies that are slashing their overhead costs by 40 to 60% on certain roles by implementing AI early, and they're sending those massive savings straight to their bottom line. And number 3, fast pivoting workers. These are everyday people, just like us, who recognize the shift and are reskilling right now in AI-adjacent fields. And because of that, they're commanding premium salaries.
All right, let's trigger a little financial FOMO, shall we? Think about this. If you had invested a mere $1,000 in NVIDIA back in 2015, it would be worth about $67,000 today. No joke. The stock price multipliers for these foundational AI companies have been nothing short of historic. The sheer volume of wealth being generated is just staggering. Okay. Let's take a collective deep breath. Not everyone can perfectly time the stock market, right? We can't hop in a time machine and go back to 2015. But here's the good news. Everyone can learn AI tools today.
This is where we shift away from looking at stock market luck and focus on actionable, personal empowerment. You do not need millions of dollars to invest if you can make yourself indispensable simply by being the one person in the office who actually knows how to leverage these tools.
Which perfectly sets up Section 3, your financial action plan. Here are the structured, no-nonsense steps you need to take right now. First, assess and learn. You've got to evaluate your current job vulnerability honestly. Second, invest wisely. Third, build cash reserves. I cannot stress this enough. You must build a 6-month emergency fund immediately. Do this before a job loss even has a chance to happen. And fourth, diversify income. You simply cannot rely on a single paycheck in an era of rapid automation.
Let's break those down a bit more. If your job happens to be in that vulnerable zone we talked about earlier, you need to start upscaling your AI toolset today. And the absolute best part, the resources to do this are entirely free. Coursera, YouTube, LinkedIn Learning. Literally just spend 1 hour a night learning how to properly prompt ChatGPT, how to use GitHub Copilot, or how to automate your daily spreadsheets. Become that early adopting worker who transitions from being replaced by AI to being the one managing the AI.
Now, what if your income is currently totally safe? Well, then your strategy shifts to investing. The source material is very clear on this point. Avoid the highly speculative, wildly volatile assets like crypto when you're making your core AI play. Instead, you want to focus on broad, established tech indexes. Look at things like the VGT index, the QQQ index, or take direct positions in established AI infrastructure companies. That's how you safely capture a piece of that layer 1 wealth generation we talked about earlier.
Ultimately, guys, the wealth gap widens because some people act and most simply don't. Diversifying your income with side hustles, acquiring those new technical skills, and building a solid cash buffer, these are the tangible, real-world actions that separate the economic winners from the losers in this massive technological transition. It is purely about proactive movement.
And that brings us to the absolute most powerful takeaway of this entire explainer. AI isn't destroying the economy. It's redistributing it. I want you to take a second and really process that. This is not some guaranteed apocalyptic disaster. It is just a massive macroeconomic shift. Wealth, influence, and jobs are simply moving from old paradigms to new ones. It is an incredible opportunity disguised as a crisis.
Which leaves us with this final stark question for you to ponder today. Which side of that redistribution will you be on? Will you be caught scrambling? Or will you be the one capturing the upside? The choice is entirely yours, but the time to act is right now. If you found this breakdown valuable, be sure to like and subscribe for more insights that will help you stay ahead of financial disruption. Thank you so much for learning with me today.